Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. In this episode, I am gonna be dropping the shithenomorph into the monsterverse to see if he can survive. I don't honestly know his gender, I haven't looked between its legs. I'm sure you all know how this works, so I'll be dropping him in the verse, and he will need to survive the ecosystem and the Caillou. Why does this thing say Caillou so stupidly, like why you say Caillou like you saying Kier? Now let's get into the monsterverse. Okay, so we got my guy in here. For a bit of background, this was a hybrid me and Brian Christia made a few months back. He has multiple different creatures in him. These creatures include Death Angels, which gives him incredibly strong armor and arms. This armor is capable of surviving a nuke with high damage, and the Death Angel DNA gives him enhanced hearing, capable of hearing stuff from you to 100 miles away, but with the Death Angel DNA also includes its weakness, extremely loud sounds. Another creature in the shithenomorph is the White Spike. The White Spike DNA adds to tentacles on its back, capable of shooting atomic darts and atomic beams. For a reason I'll explain soon, and the White Spike DNA increases hive mind activity, which won't be useful in this verse because only one will be transported. Another creature in the shithenomorph is a xenomorph. This creature adds enhanced flexibility and wall climbing capabilities. And now it's time to explain the guy's size and atomic capabilities. Another main creature in the shithenomorph is none other than Shin Godzilla himself. This DNA enhances regeneration to be able to grow limbs back in seconds, and it also adds the ability to shoot atomic beams out its tentacles and tail, which is the head of the Demogorgon, but he's not really important. The Demogorgon DNA only adds a head on the tail, capable of biting and picking stuff up, and obviously shooting atomic breath, which is purple. Shithenomorph would be summoned into Rome and roam at a pretty busy place. This would make lots of sound. All this sound would cause him to go into a frenzy and destroy everything that makes sound. All this destruction and loud sounds would eventually awaken Scylla, and as Scylla isn't exactly a good guy, she would wake up and cause havoc on the opposite side of Rome. While Scylla is destroying this side of Rome, it's gonna be making a ton of noise, which would catch the attention of the shithenomorph, which would cause him to go find the source of the sound. They would eventually bump into each other, and since both are aggressive, they would end up fighting, and after a few moments, shithenomorph would eventually pull through with the victory. After beating Scylla, he would still be barely damaged due to his thick armor, and he would make his way out of Rome and up the mountains when a mountain would start to shake. Methuselah would awaken from the mountains. This would cause them both to fight, and as Methuselah is made out of rock, the shithenomorph would eventually leave him alone because he can't exactly see anything, and for all he knows he's just attacking a random rock, and Methuselah would retreat back to his home. By now Godzilla would be in Rome to see what the ruckus is about, and he'll sense the former presence of an enemy that is not part of the natural order. Being Godzilla, he will start to hunt it down. Godzilla, being the king of monsters, will set a goal to get it to bow or die. After about a day of being in the monsterverse, he would have took down a few titans, but by now Godzilla won't be far behind. These titans include Scylla and Behemoth. Now it's time for the shithenomorph to meet the king of monsters, Godzilla himself. Now I'll do a bit more examination and analysis on how this would go.
Psych! That's the wrong number!
Saying this fight would be fair is an understatement. Let me explain. So we have Godzilla. Let me talk about how his abilities and stuff would suffice in this battle, and what his best abilities and stats are that would help him clean the field. First, we have his atomic breath. This ability is very good for ranged weaponry. It can get to temperature around 600,000 Celsius or higher, and by calculation of his Hollow Earth feat, Godzilla was able to drill all the way through into Hollow Earth, which is probably around 3,000 miles deep. And I was gonna bring out a diagram of Earth and a few moons and stuff, but I'm pretty sure the 3,000 miles deep suffices. Okay, here we have Earth. Our home planet Earth is around 7,926 miles tall or wide, and obviously Earth isn't a perfect ball, so I'm just using ball shape. It's close enough. And our moon is 2,159.2 miles tall, so let's bring in moons and stack them in the Earth. This is probably decently accurate size-wise, maybe a bit too high or low, but I'm not a rocket scientist, so shut up. But as you can see, the Earth is around this many moons tall, so if we convert the Earth to Hollow Earth, and we can see pretty much how deep the Hollow Earth is measured by moons. So the Hollow Earth is 1.5 moons deep, so I proved it. So now y'all crybaby fanboys who downplay Godzilla can't whine to mommy. Up next we are gonna be talking about his fall. No, not this fall, that fall. This doesn't really need to go into much depth, so I'll just say simple. This fall was he fell from 40 to 1,650 feet above the ground, and he was falling 1,597 meters per second, and so by calculation and stuff the force would be 1.342 trillion newtons. Obviously that's just my calculation, totally didn't take like 12 minutes. Okay, next we have thermopulse. I can't be bothered to explain, it's pretty self-explained, and the paintings which just out his experience and battle IQ. He's been fighting for millennials onto his strongest thing in this battle. Yea, his roar is genuinely enough to dominate shithenomorph, not even joking. His roar is 170 for decibels, and death angels have sensitive hearing. So in shorter words, the fight would start and end with this.